Today we have John Emeigh with us, a local newsman, and now he's written a work of fiction. Tell us about your book, John.
Well, it's a book called Fish UFO, and it is a work of fiction. It's about a small, very conservative town in East Texas that suddenly becomes a hot spot for UFO sightings, strange lights in the sky. And it brings, it gets national attention, something this very conservative, religiously tight community doesn't want. It gets national attention and starts attracting all sorts of unusual people who want to see the lights and explore and research the aliens that they think are visiting this town. Sort of becoming a little Roswell, and this new uninvited guest sort of butt heads with the religious leaders of this community who hold more sway over everything. And in that, in all the chaos, there's a young man in there who wants to learn the truth about his father's death. And his mother is very oppressive and zealous, it involves all these interesting characters that culturally clash with each other, and it's sort of a satire, humor with a little bit of. With some drama in it, of course.
How long have you been working on it?
Oh gosh, I've worked on this novel for, I would say, on and off for many years.
Right.
I mean, I think I started probably writing it before I came to Montana 15 years ago. And this was one of these projects, like any journalist, many journalists you may know, that I sort of had a little manuscript in my drawer next to my typewriter. But this was just something I worked on over the years. Type in, write little chapters here and there throughout the years, and edit it, worked on it. But this has been a project I've been doing, for several years now. I mean, I've been writing fiction for years, short stories and what have you, but this novel came to me, and it just was something I sort of worked on, throughout the years. Just whenever you get a moment, I always made a point to just sit down and work on the novel. Don't think about anything else, do that, and as the time went by, it came together.
So do you have a special place you write at home, or?
Oh yeah, I've got my little den. I've got a little, it's in the basement. It's a little room my wife gave me. She just said, just stay there if you're going to do anything. I think she just locks me in there and keeps me. That's my little place. I get to decorate it my way. I think my wife doesn't trust my decorating skills. A lot of fishing and hunting and just guy stuff and baseball stuff, pictures on the wall. But yeah, it's my little den. It's just I even have a little bed in there. Sometimes if I get in trouble, I can sleep down there. But no, I've got my computer set up, my desk, dictionary, books, everything, and it's a great quiet little place to sit and write.
So, and don't tell me, of course, what it is, but does it have a twisty ending?
Oh, it's got twists. It does have a twist.
Nice.
It has a twist. Yeah, it's got a little bit in there. You're gonna see. There's a lot of characters in it. They're all interesting, and I think some are downright despicable, and there is a twist in it. There's something in there. Yeah. I think when I first wrote the book, I didn't know how it was going to happen. And then somewhere, maybe a third of the way into the novel, when I was working on it, it just hit me. The idea came to me, and I went and I stopped and I said, I got to write that.
You'll hear authors say sometimes, the characters almost start speaking to them and guiding the way the book is going.
Oh, yeah, by far. You get these characters in your head, and I know it sounds almost silly and nebulous, but they do really grow. They become their own person. They become real to you. I mean, you really, and I think that's how these characters, if they become real to me, where I almost see them as actual people, then I know they're good. Then they stay. They're going to be in the novel. They take on a life of their own. I mean, I wrote a character in there that when I first started this book that was going to be I kind of said, well, he's going to be the bad guy. He's just not a likable guy. I wanted to put everything I don't like about a person into this guy. He was sort of oppressive. He was the pastor. He was the pastor of the church in the book, and he was very heavy-handed, and he guided everything. And I thought, oh, this is the type of person I don't like. And I started writing him, and the strange thing is, as I wrote him, and as he began speaking and doing what he did in the book, I began to gain sympathy and empathy toward this guy. I understood where he came from, why he was the way he was, and it changed my perspective on him and what he became. His ending is different than I was going to do. I was going to sort of try to make him, I was going to give him I was going to punish him in some way. And the funny thing, I gained sympathy for him, and I understood him, and that was an example of what you just were talking about, is how a character can become real to you, and they're not two-dimensional. There are more facets to them, and that's what happened to this character.
So he became a richer character.
He became richer, and I understood him better, and that's the thing, when most of the characters, well, pretty much every character I put in that book, they have to have that. They have to develop, and I try, if I've succeeded and people read this, these characters will, I hope, feel real to the reader, and I hope people will sympathize with them or despise them or like them but whatever they feel about them, I hope they feel that they are genuine.
So you've got a book signing coming up at Isle of Books on Saturday, February 19th.
That's right. That's coming up.
43 East Broadway.
It's from, I think, 11 to like 2 or whenever. Okay. If there's a lot of people there, I'll hang out. Right. Yeah, we're going to have a full book signing, and the books are coming in. Hopefully, they're making it. They're on their way to Butte as we speak.
Right.
I'll be there to talk about the book, of course, sign the book. I'm sure I'll read from some parts of the book. I even have a soundtrack. When I did this book, I wrote a couple songs that are related to the book, that kind of help the story along. You don't need to have them to enjoy the book, but I just had this burst of creativity. So my wife and I, Heather Lingle, who's a singer, we do plan to sing 2 songs on guitar at this event about that are related to. These are songs that I kind of that characters in the book sort of wrote. and we'll call it a soundtrack. I don't know if I'm the first person who's ever made a soundtrack for a novel, but if I did, good.
Well, I think you're ready for the movie rights.
I'm ready for the movie rights. Hey, it deals with issues of faith and how I sort of see people tend to get blinded by their faith and don't see but ignore the world around them. And there's nothing wrong with believing in things. It's just you also should, but don't become blinded or fail to see the good things around you, and fail to also, sometimes in our beliefs, we may hurt other people. And so it's a heavy topic. I mean, I'm dealing with, and in this book we deal with, there's 2 groups. There's very religious people, Christian, and there's UFO people. Both look up to the sky for answers, you see. So I've got these people, the ufologists, the strange people who believe that aliens are visiting us, and we have people that believe God directs everything, and you have this sort of clash of culture. But to me, they're kind of the same, because they're very deep in their belief systems, and I wanted to take this subject, which I find very interesting in general, but put a little satire to it and make it extreme. The book goes to extremes, and as I think good satire does. It is adult in that content. There's language. There's uncomfortable language in it. But I try to do it in a way that I'm trying to make my point with, and I think it does come out. I hope it does to people. I hope they see that I don't know. I want it to be entertaining, but I hope it's profound, and I hope it helps people to think about a lot of issues in life and how we deal with other people. The front of the novel, the cover, was designed by my wife, Heather Lingle. I got to give her credit. I think it looks fantastic. She designed it. We had help from others too in the community, very creative people. A lot of creative people in Butte have helped put this book together. They edited it. They looked over it. They gave me feedback. Helped in also the designing of it. So that really came together. But my wife came up with the concept of the cover. And we wanted to make a really clean, good, crisp reading novel, and I think we've done it.